Yuxin Toys is a Chinese company that manufactures a variety of toys, ranging from cups that you could stack with, Lego, but most specifically and most well known for, as far as I'm aware, speed cubes. About a month ago, I received an Instagram DM from Yuxin asking if I wanted to test out their Huanglong version 2, and I'll attach the DM I got here. The Huanglong version 2 has been receiving terrible reviews, people criticizing its lack of corner cutting and just not seeing what it contributes to the current market of cubes. People, as a result, have just been ignoring a DM from Yuxin with them literally asking if they wanted a free product. And it's reached the point to where they aren't just asking a few people, they're asking anyone they can because no one wants to test this product out. And it fascinates me because Yuxin, when I started, was a world record creating company. And now they are struggling to keep the relevancy they once had. Looking at this desperation Yuxin has to promote their mediocre at best products now just has me thinking, how did this company that was once creating flagship puzzles go from creating flagships to creating puzzles where they have to beg for people to try it for free? So this is my history lesson of Yuxin's rise and fall. I'm not exactly sure when Yuxin debuted as a puzzle company, but it was probably in the early 2010s. But their rise to fame really came with the release of the Yuxin 3x3 and 4x4 in early 2015. I had just started cubing when the Yuxin 3x3 and 4x4 had come out, and I remember that everyone was super intrigued by these puzzles because they had these super cool matte stickers and circular centers that reminded people of the game 357 at the time. And they were just really interesting releases when Moyu was dominating, because Moyu didn't really have much competition at all, and if they did, it was mostly just a company releasing a 3x3 like Fengshi maybe, because Diane had fallen off at this point. For a company that didn't have much buzz and traction around it, with people, calling it Yuxin and Yuxin at the time, these both seem like promising puzzles and a breath of fresh air in a community dominated by Moyu. Moyu is popping off with all these cubes, and at the time, their high-end puzzles were maybe $16, but this Yuxin 3x3 was closer to $9, which was a big deal back then. And the cube was getting good reviews from people like JR Cuber, Crazy Bad Cuber, Chris Olsen, and most importantly, Colin Burns. On April 25th, 2015, Colin Burns had broken the 3x3 world record with a time of 5.25 seconds. The last world record was 5.55 seconds by Matt's Fall, which had stood for 3 years at that point. The cube that Colin Burns used for this record was none other than the Yuxin 3x3. There's a lot of information about this record that honestly makes Yuxin's rise to fame seem like a fluke. But before I can get to that, I thought I had made this up, but I'm pretty sure in the description of the video, Colin did say he lost his main Moyu Hualong earlier in the day, and he just used the Yuxin 3x3. And I did not, in fact, make it up. After looking at some speed-solving forum things, he did, in fact, lose his cube. Another fun fact about this, according to Justin Malari on Facebook, is that there wasn't supposed to be a fourth round at this competition. It was a tentative round, but they added it because they were ahead of schedule. He got the 5.25 in that fourth round, so everything around this record just seems like a happy accident. And soon enough, Colin Burns was all over the Yuxin boxes. Within a year of the 5.25, Yuxin had solidified itself as a rival to Moyu, at least with the end-by-ends. The release of the Yuxin 5x5 led to great reviews and people such as Felix using it and destroying the 5x5 world records. And the cubes were way cheaper than the Moyu 5x5, so Moyu didn't really have anything to offer at this point. The release of the Yuxin Blue 4x4 and the Yuxin Red 6x6 just added more, although those cubes did need some spring mods to be better. Yuxin's dominance with their affordable prices quickly caught the attention of cubers all over, and most importantly, world-class solvers. One specifically, Kevin Hayes. Okay, I do find it kind of funny that Kevin is wearing a Moyu shirt in this video while using a Yuxin cube in his main event. that he was a world champion for 3 times. This isn't me like doing behind the scenes investigate. This is like in the description of the video. Anyways, Kevin had been using the Yuxin 5x5 for a while, breaking some NARs, but he did start using the Yuxin 6x6, breaking some unofficial world records and official world records with the puzzle. In late 2017, after Felix being ahead in 7x7 by quite a bit, Kevin Hayes was slowly catching up, being only a second away from the 206 world record at the time. And this was using the Yuxin Huanglong 7x7. Kevin was sponsored by Yuxin at this point, so he was using a Yuxin 7x7, of course, even though that did not stop him earlier. The interesting thing about the Yuxin Huanglong 7x7 was, although many people regarded it as good, nobody really thought it was the best on the market, especially because Felix was using the Chi Wuji at this point. Kevin, as far as I'm aware, did have a special modified version of the Yuxin Huanglong with magnets in it, because that cube was not very easily magnetizable just with how the pieces were built, so that did give him an advantage. Despite this, Kevin had been improving in 7x7 a lot, closing that gap between him and Felix that was there before. He even got this 153 7x7 UWR using the Yuxin Huanglong. Wait.
Was that UWR? Yeah, it is.
The solve was in fact UWR, but if you look closely, that is not a Yuxin Huanglong 7x7. That's a 7x7 that was not released at the time. The cube would later be released and be known as the Valk 3. Oh, sorry. I mean the Hayes 7. Yeah, the Yuxin Hayes 7 was a big deal. Before it was even released, the 7x7 world record single went from 206 to 147. The 2-minute barrier was broken on this cube, a barrier thought impossible just a few years before, although cubing predictions aren't well known for being great. After the Hayes 7 release, Yuxin was far from losing their relevance. The Little Magic line was getting a lot of praise, especially because the 3x3 was only $5. Some world-class 3x3 solvers might have actually been using the magnetic version of this cube. There was also the Little Magic Square one, which world-class people were using for a few years, and the Little Magic Pyraminx in late 2021, which to this day is still one of the best on the market, but that's just because Pyraminx hardware is something else. Sometime in the 2020s, Yuxin just lost their charm, or little magic, one may say. They've had their decent speed cubes then and there, but it just seems like most of their time is going into creating non-WCA puzzles, which is perfectly fine because there's definitely a market for that, but some of the things that have happened recently are just a little ridiculous. After Steven Winteringham had given the Yuxin Huanglong version 2 an honest review, Yuxin emailed him and asked him to make the review less negative, which is just ridiculous. Like, maybe just make a better cube. I'm also not entirely sure how long this has been on their website, but they're claiming that these are all the partners they work with. Some being companies they've knocked off, and some being competing companies, so I'm not sure how that works, but seems legit to me. This brings me back to the whole DM debacle where they're just asking if anyone wants to try it. I did actually ask them that I'm fine testing it, but it's been a month and I haven't received anything in the mail. I don't know if it's ever coming. I did find that a little funny, but I am not the type to turn down a free product, if you know what I mean. Overall, I'm sure Yuxin's doing fine as a company. They're releasing these incredible higher N/Ns. I think they're actually going to release a 29x29 soon, which is just insane. But it looks like with all the time they're using to make these N/Ns, they haven't been focusing as much on speed cubes, which is perfectly fine, you know. It is a different day as I'm filming this outro because I am wearing a different shirt, but I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it, and I do have some other ideas planned. I am going back to college soon, if I'm not there already when this is uploaded, so we'll see how consistent I'll be uploading these videos because editing was a little hard. But I hope you enjoyed. I'll probably upload some solved videos if I ever get official results I'm happy with, which hasn't been the case for the last few years. But yeah, I'm gonna start the year off strong with this project, I guess. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.